First hydrogen and helium, then lithium, beryllium. Boron, carbon everywhere, nitrogen all through the air, and oxygen so you can breathe.
Hello, class. I hope you've been studying your chemistry.
Of course, Mrs. Goo. I always study my chemistry.
Do you have any chemistry puns today?
Not today, because all the good ones are gone.
In a covalent bond, electrons are shared. These take place between nonmetals.
Do you want to share my electrons? Yes! Covalent bonds.
In an ionic bond, atoms give or gain electrons. These take place between metals and nonmetals.
Sodium.
I'm chlorine. Well, listen, punk, better give me those electrons right now.
Lattice energy is how much energy it takes to separate a mole of an ionic compound into its gaseous ions. It is endothermic, and it mostly depends on the charges and the distance of the ionic compound.
I have a higher lattice energy than you. You broke the ionic bond! That darn lattice energy going at it again?
Electronegativity is used to see if a bond is a nonpolar or polar covalent bond or if it's an ionic bond. If the difference in electronegativity between two bonds is less than 0.5, then it's nonpolar covalent. If it's greater than or equal to 0.5 and less than 2.0, then it's polar covalent. If it's greater than 2.0 or equal to 2.0, it's an ionic bond. Linus, did you make the electronegativity scale? No, Charlie, that was Linus Pauling.
Shout out your electron domain geometries. The electron domain infinity of 2. Linear. Electron domain geometry of 3. Trigonal planar. Electron domain geometry of 4.
Tetrahedral.
Electron domain geometry of 5. Trigonal bipyramidal. Electron domain geometry of 6.
Octahedral.
Don't forget to cheer for those on the sidelines. If trigonal planar has one lone pair, then it's bent, with a bond angle of less than 120 degrees. If tetrahedral has one lone pair, then it's a trigonal pyramidal, with a bond angle of less than 109.5 degrees. Yet if it has two lone pairs, then it's bent, also with a bond angle of less than 109.5 degrees. If a trigonal bipyramidal has one lone pair, it's shaped like a seesaw. If it has two lone pairs, it's like a T-shape. And if it has three lone pairs, then it's like a linear. And they all have a bond angle of less than 120 and 90 degrees. Octahedral with one lone pair is a square pyramidal, with two lone pairs is a square planar, and they both have a bond angle of less than 90 degrees.
Hybridization.
Atomic orbitals form new hybrid orbitals when they mix. For example, if an s orbital and a p orbital hybridize, they form an sp hybrid orbital.
Let's hybridize. Okay!
SP.
Sigma bonds are single bonds, and pi bonds take place in double bonds. If these two are bonded together and rotation occurs, then the bond is broken.
Why would you break the bond? To the pi. What was that?
Alright, tell me when you're ready.
I'm started recording.
You started recording already? Oh.
The middle. Baby, when you talk like that, you make my hybrids want to orbitize. Been studying chemistry.
Of course, Mrs. Mess.
You're talking about Mrs. Met.
Oh my god.
Your chemistry.
Of course, Mrs. Mess. I always study chemistry.
Gumostamos. I've told you children 100 times. Gumostamos.
You know what? Mrs. Mess is better than you.
Why are we having so much trouble on this? History.
Of course, Mrs. Mr. Gustamos. I always study chemistry. Because all the good ones are gone.
Way to get your periodic table.
Chemistry, yo, what up? Yo, what up?
Chemistry.
Up
in the club with the calcium and the argon.
Calcium ions, what?